Talk through what stood out to you, because to my ear, the president was complimentary of the law enforcement officers, because these are law enforcement officers in the room, saying he essentially had their backs. At one point, I think cracking a joke that 10% of them might not be so great, but the other 90% were. Tell me what the headlines are to you.
By the way, I thought he was talking about family relationships there. Maybe things weren't working out so well with families, I think he meant. But in any event, this has been one of the consistent themes of this administration is unwavering support for local police. The Justice Department has changed a policy, for example, very, very straightforwardly saying that they're not going to pursue pattern and practice investigations against local police departments as aggressively as the Obama administration did, because in the opinion of the Attorney General, basically continuing a line from the president, that they believe that those are making it harder for the police to do their work. Not that they're going to stop them, but that they won't be as aggressive about them. But this is a consistent message from this administration that they will be 100% behind local police in whatever they need. And that was really the message here. Not speaking so much to FBI agents, although he was very complimentary to federal agents from the Drug Enforcement Administration, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, FBI, but basically to the state and local police officers.
And, Pete, it wasn't just this focus on law enforcement officers. He also touched a little bit on immigration. This is something that we've been hearing, a message we've been hearing a lot from the White House. The idea of chain migration, talking about what they want to do to reform the immigration system, which looks to be a big battle coming up in Washington in January after the start of the year from the politics perspective. You heard the president reiterate what we've heard him say time and time again. He thinks that the lottery system is rigged, for example, for certain immigration policies. Is this the right audience for that? Do you think that was part and parcel of the president trying to sort of send a message while he knows he has this national audience here?
Well, I suspect, and you heard the applause, that many people in the room agree with the president on that point, that they believe that the immigration of the so-called lottery system or the diversity program isn't sufficiently capable of finding people who could be a threat to the U.S. So this is a very strongly pro-law enforcement audience, as you would expect. So I think that message actually probably resonated with them. But you're right, it's been a consistent theme of the president, especially after the indication that the person who carried out the terror bombing in the subway in New York on Monday came here through a combination of the so-called chain migration system, where one family member gets in and bring others in, and then the original person in that family getting in under the diversity or lottery program.
He also, Pete, discussed the idea of death penalty for people who go after law enforcement officers, and that is not necessarily a new message from Donald Trump either.
No, but it comes at a time when the country is turning more and more against the death penalty. The latest Gallup poll shows the lowest public approval in 45 years for the death penalty. It's now down to 55%. So a majority of Americans still support it, but that support is growing. And this year, the number of death penalties and executions that were carried out is the second lowest since in the modern era of the death penalty. Only last year was lower. It's a combination, really, of states not being able to carry it out because of the lack of lethal execution chemicals, but also juries being more wary of pronouncing the death penalty or imposing the death penalty because of concerns about evidence and fairness.